Charleston may look like a coastal dream with its beauty, charm, and southern lifestyle, but choosing where to live here is not as easy as it seems. Each suburb and neighborhood really has its own vibe, price points, and trade-offs you really need to understand before you move. Pick the wrong one, and that dream can quickly turn into a nightmare. In this video, I'm ranking 8 of Charleston suburbs from worst to best. Let's see if you can guess the top 3. Now, before we jump in, if you don't know me yet, my name is Sarah Newman. I'm a local realtor here, and I make videos about what it's like to live here in Charleston. As we get into the video, just keep in mind the best and worst places to live totally depends on you. I love them all, but what matters is your budget, your commute, your school preferences, and your overall lifestyle that you're seeking to determine what's ultimately best for you and your unique needs and desires. With that, let's start with number 8 on our list. Starting at number 8, we have North Charleston. And I want you to pay close attention here because this area represents one of Charleston's biggest opportunities if you know what to look for. In this area, you'll find young professionals, artists, first-time home buyers, military families stationed at the Joint Base, and savvy real estate investors who see the writing on the wall. With a current median price of around $325,000 to $390,000, which, yes, I understand that's quite a big range, but North Charleston is quite a big area. North Charleston offers the most affordable entry point into the Charleston market. We're talking about prices that are literally 1/5 of what you may pay in some more premium areas. Now, let me explain why it's ranked the lowest and be completely honest about the challenges, because I never want to mislead my clients. Parts of North Charleston are still developing their infrastructure, and some of the older industrial areas can feel a little rough around the edges. But of course, there are diamonds in the rough. School ratings vary dramatically just depending on what part of North Charleston you are looking in, with some excellent schools and some that are still improving. For data on schools, I like to use websites like niche.com, greatschools.org, or schooldigger.com. Those all give objective data points, talk about the rankings locally as well as statewide and nationwide. I also find that joining Facebook groups, for example, ones about moving to Charleston, can be a really great option to hear from people who currently live here and whose kids go to school here, so you can hear the truth from the real life people that are here and their real lived experiences, for better or for worse. So here's what's incredibly exciting about North Charleston right now. This area has arguably the strongest job market in the whole region. Boeing and Bosch each employ thousands. Mercedes has their van manufacturing here. The Charleston Joint Base is a major economic driver, employing around 25,000 people, and the Port of Charleston brings in maritime and logistic jobs that pay well above the regional average. Within North Charleston, you have Park Circle, which has become absolutely trendy over the last 10 years, and for good reason. We're talking about a walkable neighborhood, which is pretty rare in general in Charleston. Park Circle has the world's largest inclusive playground, offering accessibility and imaginative play for different ages and abilities. You'll also find disc golf, a community center, farmers pavilion, art studios, vintage shops, and some incredible restaurants. For example, for any other fellow Top Chef lovers out there, like yours truly, the runner-up in the last season, Shui Wang, is the owner of Jack Rabbit Philly and King Barbecue, both located in North Charleston. Now, the home prices in Park Circle specifically have risen arguably faster than most other areas in Charleston. You'll probably pay at least double, if not more, in this area compared to other parts of North Charleston. Now, the city of North Charleston is reinvesting heavily into the infrastructure and redevelopment projects in the area. We're seeing new parks, improved streetscapes, mixed-use developments, and a real focus on creating walkable, livable communities. For example, the 70-acre area along the Cooper River next to Riverfront Park in North Charleston was once a thriving naval base, which closed in 1996, but is now getting transformed into a thriving mixed-use urban center development called Navy Yard Charleston. There will be 1.2 million square feet total, including residences, office spaces, green spaces, shopping and dining areas. For investors willing to take a longer-term view, this could be really rewarding in the long term. Overall, North Charleston is best if you're looking for a maximum value, if you work in maybe industry or transportation, or if you're an investor willing to bet on an area's transformation. North Charleston offers opportunities that you simply can't find anywhere else in Charleston. Coming in at number 7 is the Wando/Cain area. This area represents Charleston's newest reinvigorated frontier for suburban development. You still get a Charleston mailing address in this area, but technically you're on the Cain Peninsula with the Wando River to the south, hence the names of Cain or Wando, just depending on which exact area you're in, but they're often used interchangeably. Some examples of people who may choose to live here could be families who prioritize new construction, nature enthusiasts, people who are seeking a location closer to Mount Pleasant or Daniel Island, but still want to be a little bit more removed from the hustle and bustle, and buyers who want to be part of a growing community from the ground up. Today, you're looking at a median sales price of around $600,000, which here in the Charleston market gets you quite significantly more home and potentially more land than you may find in other competing areas that are more established. I will caution you, however, that prices are going up very quickly in this area. It's been one of the fastest appreciating in the last couple of years. There are newer luxury communities like the master plan neighborhood of Point Hope, which is contributing to a big rise of pricing here, as well as some older, more established neighborhoods like Beresford Creek Landing that are high-end and have stately homes with incredible water views. This overall area of Cain and Wando is absolutely gorgeous. We're talking about scenic properties with larger lots, mature trees, proximity to the Wando River, as well as lots of creeks and wetlands, and that quiet feel that's becoming increasingly rare as Charleston develops. Now that said, the newer construction communities do have smaller lots, as we tend to see the vast majority of the time with new construction, but as always, lot size is really going to vary per neighborhood and be specific to that home. In this area, new communities are popping up regularly, offering amenities like community pools, walking trails, and planned green spaces. You're essentially buying into communities that are being designed from scratch with modern families in mind. Another draw to this area for some are the Philip Simmons schools, particularly the high school, which has quickly established itself as one of the highest rated in the region, coming in at number 1 for high schools in Berkeley County, according to US News and World Report. For families with school-age children, this is a major consideration that often justifies the location trade-off. While Wando and Cain may feel a little bit out there as far as location goes, you're still close enough to Mount Pleasant and Daniel Island to access those conveniences and amenities. We're talking great restaurants, shopping, the amazing walking trails on Daniel Island, or the Costco in Mount Pleasant, which is only about 15 minutes from this area. The beaches, specifically Isle of Palms and Sullivan's Island, are both about 30 minutes away. The biggest challenge here is that much of this area is still under construction. You might have a beautiful new community surrounded by construction noise, ongoing development, and limited services. Everything requires a car. There's no walkability here unless you live in Point Hope, and then right outside of Point Hope, there is a Publix grocery store and a handful of restaurants and a couple of medical services. So that is an exception. There's plenty more on the way to this area, but all of the full plans for development in the next decade or two have not been fully announced. We know there's a lot coming through the developer, but exactly what is still to be announced. From here, the airport is only about 20 minutes away, and your commute to downtown Charleston could be as little as 30 minutes, but if you hit some traffic, it could be up to 45 minutes or an hour, just depending on what time of day. As the Charleston area continues to grow, areas like Wando and Cain are positioned to benefit from the spillover demand from more expensive locations. Early buyers have seen strong appreciation as neighborhoods mature and amenities develop. Overall, Wando and Cain is great for you if you want growth potential, a newer home, and you don't mind being part of an area that's still really finding its identity. If that sounds like you, then Wando and Cain offer a unique opportunity. At number 6, we have West Ashley, and this just might be Charleston's most misunderstood and undervalued gem of an area. West Ashley attracts an incredibly diverse demographic, everything from young families to retirees to single professionals and longtime Charleston residents who want to stay close to the action without paying peninsula prices. And by peninsula, that's what we call downtown Charleston. The median price here today currently is about $485,000 in the further western parts of West Ashley. But as you move closer east downtown, the median price jumps up to about $590,000. Overall, West Ashley offers some of the most affordable options for staying close to downtown Charleston. The location here is really fantastic. You're literally minutes from downtown Charleston, close to historic sites like Magnolia Plantation and Middleton Place, and you have easy access to both the Ashley River as well as not being far from Folly Beach. The West Ashley Greenway provides miles of walking and biking paths, which is a huge recreational asset. West Ashley has well-established shopping centers, medical facilities, restaurants, and services. You're not waiting for amenities to be built, they're already here. From the St. Francis Hospital, to the Whole Foods, to the Costco, to nearly every car dealership known to man, to just about every other chain store or restaurant, you'll find it in West Ashley. Unlike some of the newer developments, West Ashley has that established neighborhood feel with more mature trees, developed commercial areas, and long-standing community institutions. You're not dealing with the construction chaos of rapidly developing areas, though there are pockets of newer construction within West Ashley. And in fact, there is a brand new master plan community coming in 2026 called Long Savannah. And yes, you can be certain that I'll be making a video about it as soon as more information gets released. West Ashley offers incredible diversity in housing stock. You'll find everything from historic homes from the early 1900s to brand new construction, mid-century ranches, waterfront properties, and affordable condos. There are a lot of older non-HOA neighborhoods that make for more affordable options as well. This variety means there's something for almost every budget and style preference. Within West Ashley, there are specific neighborhoods that offer exceptional value, areas close to the water or even on deep water, historic districts with homes full of character, and pockets that are seeing revitalization and investment. With that said, many of the homes and commercial buildings here are older and thus likely need some updating and TLC. Some pockets of West Ashley definitely show their age, with dated shopping centers and residential areas that can use some investment. The area is also less walkable than, say, downtown Charleston, of course, or some other newer, more planned communities. So you'll need a car for most daily activities, unless you live somewhere like Avondale, for example, which is one of the hippest places in all of West Ashley, with some great bars and restaurants and local shops just over the bridge from downtown Charleston. Depending on where you are in West Ashley, commuting to certain parts of Charleston usually involves crossing bridges and dealing with traffic, especially on 17 and 526. And I should also just give you the context and say that no matter where you live in the Charleston area, you're pretty much guaranteed to have to cross a bridge at some point and deal with traffic. There is really no area that's immune from traffic. It's just a consideration here, as it would be in any medium-sized metro area. Overall, if you're value conscious but want to stay close to city life and you appreciate variety in housing options, and if you're not afraid of finding a property that might need some updating, then West Ashley offers great bones at reasonable prices. Now, before getting to the number 5 neighborhood on this list, I want to mention that my team and I have helped hundreds of families, just like you, navigate this exact decision. And I've seen firsthand how the right neighborhood and suburb can set you up for years of happiness, while the wrong choice can lead to costly moves and lifestyle compromises. I've unfortunately seen that happen quite a few times in the last few years, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can continue to get educated about living in Charleston. And of course, if you are thinking about moving here and have any questions or want help in the process so that you can save time, energy, and money, contact me and my team. All of our information is down below, and we would absolutely love and be honored to help you find your home in Charleston. At number 5, we have Summerville. This is where we start seeing some really compelling lifestyle options that have made this one of South Carolina's fastest growing areas. Technically, Summerville is a totally different town from Charleston, but it gets them together as it's what we call the Tri-County area here, which is made up of Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester counties. Summerville largely spans over Dorchester and Berkeley counties. We see a lot of people choosing to call Summerville home, everything from first-time home buyers to growing families to retirees who are seeking that small town charm, as well as commuters who prioritize value over proximity to downtown. With a median price of about $385,000 to $415,000, Summerville offers incredible bang for your buck. You're getting significantly more house than you would find closer to Charleston. And if your budget is higher and you want to call Summerville home, then you'll find some really incredible options, like new construction homes with all the gorgeous design finishes. Perhaps you'll have a pool in the backyard, and overall can get access to super amenity-rich neighborhoods that would cost a lot more in other states. Summerville has managed to maintain that authentic small town charm while accommodating rapid growth. The historic downtown is absolutely beautiful, with tree-lined streets, boutique shops, local restaurants, and regular community events that bring people together, like Third Thursdays, where they close down the streets in historic downtown Summerville, and it transforms into a special marketplace featuring local entertainment, craft vendors, and artisans. This is a community built both for families and retirees. You'll find excellent parks, youth sport leagues, community pools, walking trails, golf cart trails, and regular festivals throughout the year, like the Flower Town Festival and Sweet Tea Festival, because yes, Summerville's claim to fame is also being the birthplace of sweet tea. The town really invests in programming that brings families together and creates that sense of community among its residents that's becoming rare and increasingly hard to find. Summerville benefits from multiple school districts, including some highly rated options that consistently score well on state assessments like Dorchester District 2. For those prioritizing education, this is a major draw without having to pay the premium associated with areas like Mount Pleasant. Now, unlike some areas where you're limited by the existing housing inventory, Summerville offers the largest amount and the biggest variety in new construction, largely in planned communities with modern amenities, energy efficient homes, and contemporary layouts. There are some incredible master plan communities like Nexton, Cain Bay, Summers Corner, and also Carnes Crossroads, which is just on the border of Summerville and Goose Creek. There's also quite a few 55 plus neighborhoods if you're looking for the active adult lifestyle. Now let's talk about flood risk, because this is a huge consideration in the Charleston area, of course. Summerville's inland location means that you have significantly lower flood insurance costs and hurricane risk compared to the more coastal areas. Here in Charleston, the most desirable flood zone is called an X flood zone. That is the lowest flood zone that we have and is the only flood zone that does not require flood insurance if you are financing your home with a mortgage. So not all of Summerville is an X flood zone, but generally speaking, you are more likely to find X flood zones in this part of town. Summerville is really experiencing dramatic growth. It is one of the fastest growing counties in the country, but they're really doing a good job overall controlling that growth with new shopping centers, restaurants, medical facilities, and services opening regularly. For example, a new MUSC hospital is breaking ground now in Nexton. On the whole, you're not dealing with the infrastructure growth that sometimes goes hand in hand with new construction where there's that lag. But I will say that there is definitely still room for improvement. For example, a lot of people complain about Nexton Parkway and how it should be 2 lanes on each side instead of 1 lane. That is something that they are going to do in the coming years, but ideally it would have been done when they built it 10 years ago. The biggest trade-off I hear from clients about living in Summerville is, of course, the distance. You're looking at 30 to 45 minutes to downtown Charleston on a good day. That depends on where in Summerville you live. For example, if you're in Nexton, you are right off of Interstate 26, but if you live in some further out areas, that automatically adds an extra 15 to 20 minutes to that commute. You're also in the midst of the main rush hour commute, meaning traffic going from west to east in the mornings is very congested, and then coming home in the afternoons and evenings from east to west is most congested. So you're really right in the heart of all of those main traffic patterns. This can be a deal breaker for people who need to be downtown regularly or just in another part of Charleston where they have to commute. If you don't have to commute, maybe you work from home or are retired, then it's a lot more desirable because you can plan some of your errands and appointments and things around town to start late morning, for example, so you miss that early rush hour traffic first thing in the mornings. I should also mention that it's a solid hour from Summerville to any of the beaches. Within Summerville itself, let's say you're not commuting to other suburbs, but you're staying within Summerville, at peak time, traffic can still be a challenge on roads like Route 17, Highway 78, and of course I-26. But like I just said earlier, no matter where you live in Charleston, traffic is inevitable. While the amenities scene is growing in Summerville, you won't find quite the restaurant diversity, nightlife, or cultural offerings that you'll find in downtown Charleston. Though I will say, in recent years, some of the most popular restaurants from Mount Pleasant and downtown have come out to the Summerville area. Like in Nexton Square, you have famous Paul's Chop House, Coogan Smokehouse, Page's Ochre Grill, and Taco Boy. Plus, historic Summerville has quite a few incredible local restaurants. Overall though, Summerville is suburban living at its core. So if you want space, affordability, well-rated schools, a lower flood risk, a small town community feel, and you don't need to be near beaches or downtown regularly, then Summerville is incredibly hard to beat. At number 4, we have Johns Island. This area represents one of Charleston's most dramatic transformation stories. People who live here tend to be nature lovers, retirees seeking more space and quiet, remote workers who can work from anywhere, and people who want large lots and privacy while maintaining closer access to the rest of Charleston. You're looking at a median price today of $635,000, but for a lot of properties here, the value proposition is all about land. You're potentially getting significantly more space for your money than almost anywhere else in the Charleston area. Genuine space and privacy are becoming increasingly rare in Charleston, but here you can find properties with multiple acres, mature trees, room for gardens, workshops, or just the feeling that you're not living on top of your neighbors. There's everything from non-HOA neighborhoods to equestrian properties, to farmland, to custom estates, to deep water homes, and more. The area has experienced a massive construction boom over the last decade, with everything from planned communities to custom homes and developments that overall offer modern amenities while preserving that rural character that Johns Island is so known for. You can find everything here from townhome new construction to luxury estates. One of Johns Island's unique advantages is its proximity and quick access to some of the region's most exclusive destinations. Kiowa Island and Seabrook Island are both just minutes away, giving you access to world-class golf, beaches, and dining when you want it. Right outside the gates of Kiowa and Seabrook, you have Fresh Fields Village, a really nice outdoor shopping area with great shops and restaurants. Nearby, you also have Beach Walkers Park, a gorgeous county park with access to the beaches of Kiowa. It's personally one of my favorite places to go walk the beach. In contrast to the high-end luxury pockets, Johns Island still maintains its agricultural character with working farms, a year-round farmers market, and that authentic low-country feel that attracts people looking for a slower pace of life. It really has a more rustic, rural feel to it. Johns Island's restaurant scene has exploded in recent years. You'll find everything from farm to table restaurants to casual local eateries, often in unique settings that take advantage of the rural landscape. For example, a restaurant called Lost Isle hit the scene in the last couple of years. It's a fire-to-table restaurant where dishes are crafted over a wood-fired grill and everything is open air. The food is seriously amazing, and trust me, it's a lot more creative than what you may be thinking of if you're imagining food cooked over the campfire. In fact, it was actually named Restaurant of the Year in 2025 by Southern Living and was featured on the New York Times 50 Favorite Restaurants in America list for 2024. Don't miss the whipped ricotta, harissa cauliflower steak, charcoal chimichurri grilled chicken, and the crispy grit cakes. While the food scene is growing on Johns Island, you won't find the shopping, entertainment, medical facilities, or services that you would have in more developed areas. This is more rural living after all, which means planning for supplies and services. Now, there are more grocery stores that are planned to come to the area in the future, but as of right now, you only have the Food Lion and then a Harris Teeter all the way down at Freshfields Village. So most residents do their grocery shopping in West Ashley or James Island. There's also no hospital here, so you have to go either downtown or to West Ashley. Let's also talk about the elephant in the room, traffic. Johns Island rapid growth has overwhelmed the existing road infrastructure. The main routes can become more like parking lots during rush hour, and getting to downtown Charleston can be frustrating, even though it's super close as the crow flies. But here's the good news. Significant improvements are planned for the future. They're currently building an overpass at the main road and 17 intersection to help with the traffic flow there, which is truly going to be a game changer getting on and off the island. On the other access point to Johns Island over the Maybank Highway Bridge, there are discussions about rerouting options when you come over the bridge that could dramatically improve commute times. In fact, they've already implemented one additional reroute for people coming over to Johns Island with a cut through over to River Road. Charleston's Mayor William Cogswell is actively working on solutions to alleviate traffic congestion on Johns Island. So fingers crossed that these improvements really do happen and make a difference. These improvements could be game changers for desirability as well as property values on Johns Island. Being closer to the coast here could mean higher flood insurance costs and more hurricane risk compared to inland areas. However, a lot of areas here do remain an flood zone because it is such a large island. So more of the interior parts of the island are often surprisingly an ex-flood zone. Overall, if you want privacy, nature, space to spread out, unique dining experiences, and you can handle traffic challenges and limited urban amenities, then Johns Island offers a lifestyle that's hard to find anywhere else in the region. Coming in at number 3 is James Island, and this is what I call Charleston's sweet spot. This area offers an amazing balance of location, lifestyle, and community. James Island attracts a fantastic mix of young professionals, growing families, retirees, and locals who have chosen to stay because they genuinely love the community feel that James Island offers. The median price today for a home is about $600,000. So you're paying more of a premium compared to other parts of Charleston, but the value proposition becomes clear when you understand what you're getting. First of all, James Island's geography is perfect. You're 10 to 15 minutes from downtown Charleston when you want city life, and the same distance to Folly Beach when you want that laid back beach vibe. This dual access is incredibly rare and valuable. Here, there's still a genuine sense of belonging. You'll find local institutions like Ellis Fish Creek Camp, where you can get that authentic low country seafood dining experience right on the water, or the James Island County Park, which is a regional destination where camping, fishing, playgrounds, a water park, walking trails, and regular community events all bring the neighbors together. The island really offers incredible outdoor opportunities, including fishing and boating. One of my favorite parks here that's still a hidden gem is called Sunrise Park. So technically the name of it is the Milton Peter Dimitri Park. We call it Sunrise Park. James Island has developed a fantastic local restaurant scene. Places like the James, Kudako, Miller's All Day, Edison, and various local spots give you dining options without having to cross bridges. Unlike rapidly developing areas, James Island offers mature neighborhoods with established trees, homes with lots of character, and that settled feeling that many buyers prefer. It has more of an organic feel and less cookie cutter than many other parts of Charleston. Most of the housing on James Island is older, which means you're not going to find much new construction, though there are still a handful of options out there. Now, some buyers see older homes as equating to having character and mature landscaping. For others, an older home might mean maintenance and seeing the dollar signs as they think about all the things they're going to need to do to update the house. James Island is full of mid-century ranches, some of which have been tastefully updated and some of which have hardly been touched since their inception. Overall, James Island properties tend to hold their value well and appreciate steadily. The combination of location and limited supply creates consistent demand. Now, while the location is generally convenient, you will deal with beach traffic during summer weekends and tourist seasons. And if you live by the James Island County Park, know that from about Thanksgiving through New Year's, you are going to get a lot of tourist traffic with the Festival of Lights. It's a huge holiday festival that they do. The county park is absolutely amazing. It has millions and millions of lights where you get to drive through the displays and then you can get out and of course see Santa and walk through all of the lights and take a little train ride through the park, and it's really super cute. I highly recommend it, but it does get the traffic backed up pretty bad on that side of town for about 6 weeks around the holidays. Like all barrier islands, flood insurance and hurricane preparedness are considerations. James Island is incredibly hard to beat if you want that perfect balance of city and beach access, authentic community feel, and you appreciate established neighborhoods with character. At number 2, we have Daniel Island. This area represents luxury suburban living executed at the highest level. Some people you may find living here could be corporate executives, retirees who want resort style living, families, and people who prioritize aesthetics and quality construction above all else. You're looking at $1.6 million for the median price on Daniel Island. So this is clearly a significant investment that reflects Daniel Island's premium positioning. Daniel Island was designed from the ground up as an upscale master plan community, and it shows in every single detail. The layout, the amenities, the architectural standards, and the community programming all reflect careful planning and substantial investment. Living on Daniel Island is a lifestyle in and of itself. The community preserves significant amounts of green spaces and offers beautiful marsh and waterfront views throughout. The landscaping and natural areas are carefully maintained and add to the overall appeal. The amenities here are genuinely impressive. You have multiple golf courses if you're part of the Daniel Island Club, tennis facilities, a fitness center, swimming pools, walking trails throughout the community, and regular events for residents of all ages. Overall, living on Daniel Island is like living in a picture-perfect resort. The schools serving Daniel Island are consistently among the highest rated in the region. For families prioritizing education, this is a major major justification for the premium pricing. The K-8 Daniel Island School is ranked #1 in Berkeley County for both the elementary and middle school. And then on Daniel Island, you also have Bishop England, which is the only private Catholic high school in our area that's highly regarded for its rigorous college prep curriculum and strong athletic programs. If you look at crimegrade.org, you'll see that Daniel Island scores incredibly high in all categories for safety, with a strong sense of community and well-maintained common areas. Despite feeling like its own self-contained community, Daniel Island offers quick access to 526. It is its own insulated community, so the downside is that you really have to travel to get everywhere else in Charleston. And 526 does have a lot of traffic congestion issues, so that's a strong consideration for people who live on Daniel Island. The premium lifestyle comes with HOA fees and community covenants that maintain the standards, but also limit what you can do with your property. Some residents love the consistency that this creates, while others find it too restrictive. Overall, if you want luxury, a picture-perfect community feel, resort-style amenities, excellent schools, and budget is not the primary concern, then Daniel Island truly delivers an exceptional lifestyle that's hard to match. Okay, we have made it to #1. Taking the #1 spot is Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant is one of Charleston's relocation hotspots and a community that consistently delivers the complete package for suburban living. I'm biased because I live here, so it truly is my favorite place. In fact, my sister and I have called it Mount Perfect over the years. Mount Pleasant attracts a huge variety of different people, professionals, retirees, families, executives, basically anybody who can afford it. It really has become a big destination for people relocating from other states. With a median price of $875,000 in North Mount Pleasant to $1 million in South Mount Pleasant, the area is expensive, but it consistently delivers value that justifies the premium pricing to the people who live here. For example, Mount Pleasant offers some of the best rated schools in South Carolina. The school district consistently ranks at the top of state assessments, and many individual schools receive national recognition. For families with children, this alone often justifies the higher housing costs. You're getting a quality education without having to pay private school tuition. I've known people who have had their kids enrolled in private schools in other suburbs in Charleston, and then they made the move to Mount Pleasant and actually put their kids into the public schools here. The parks and recreation offerings in Mount Pleasant are exceptional. You have numerous parks, walking trails, boat landings, recreation centers, and activities for all ages. The town genuinely invests in quality of life amenities. Some of my favorite spots are Palmetto Islands County Park, Pitt Street Bridge, and the Shem Creek Boardwalk. You also have access to tons of medical offices. The shopping is some of the best in the area, rivaling downtown. The restaurant scene in Mount Pleasant is incredible and also rivals downtown. Mount Pleasant's location is incredibly convenient. You're close to downtown Charleston, just 15 to 30 minutes, depending on where in Mount Pleasant you live. You have easy access to both Isle of Palms and Sullivan's Island, two of the best beaches around, as well as easy access to major highways like 17, 26, and 526 for travel throughout the region. There is a huge housing variety here. Mount Pleasant provides everything from historic homes in the Old Village to newer luxury developments to waterfront properties and family-centric neighborhoods. Mount Pleasant consistently shows a strong appreciation in property values. The popularity of the area has really exploded, which has driven prices to levels that does exclude many potential buyers, unfortunately, and even rental prices reflect the premium positioning that Mount Pleasant has become known for. Of course, I can't not mention traffic yet again, as it has become a real issue here in Mount Pleasant. Despite the challenges, Mount Pleasant continues to deliver the best combination of amenities, schools, convenience, and property value growth. In my opinion, it's incredibly difficult to find a better overall package anywhere anywhere else in the Charleston region. As you've learned in this video, Charleston offers an incredible variety of suburban living options, each with its own personality, benefits, and trade-offs. From the value and potential of North Charleston to the luxury and convenience of Mount Pleasant, there's truly something for every lifestyle and budget. The key is being honest about what matters most to you. Are you willing to commute for more space and value? Do you prioritize schools above all else? Is being close to the beaches essential for your happiness? Do you want new construction, or are you comfortable with older homes that have more character but may also need more work? My team and I have been helping families make these exact decisions for years, and I know how overwhelming it can feel when you're trying to choose from a distance or navigate an unfamiliar market. Whether you're relocating to Charleston for the first time, or maybe you already live here and are looking to relocate within the area, my team and I would love to help you navigate the process. Again, all of our information is pinned in the description below to contact us. You can fill out our discovery form, and then we will be in touch with the next steps. You can also check out my other Charleston videos where I dive deeper into specific topics like flood zones and taxes, or do much deeper pros and cons, or map tours, or vlog tours of some of the different suburbs that we talked about today. So go ahead and click right here to get connected with some of these other videos. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.